You're going to want to stay till the end of the video to see what question I'll be asking the audience. Put your answer in the comments. Let's learn from one another. Let's go. So why do you want to know how to kick higher? Do you always want to be stuck here, kicking around the hip level, the abdominal area all the time? Or do you want to get your kicks higher up to that face? That on top of the flexibility that you're going to have if you're able to kick higher, the more range of motion in your joints, your limbs, all right, more angles. If you have more range of motion, you have more angles to take, all right, more things you could do with your body to get different hits that other people cannot do. So there's a lot of reasons to be kicking higher. When you're training, all right, when you're in a sparring match, you want to try it all. You want to be trying these different angles and these different kicks, the different heights, to get confident in your movement, to get confident in your body. All right, so let's break this down. When you're kicking, you learn to rotate on your toes. If I'm throwing with my left leg, I'm rotating with my right. I'm squishing the bug, right, as we say. Squishing the bug or putting out the cigarette, whatever, it doesn't matter. And you're rotating your hips. You're rotating your shoulders a little bit, but you're really rotating those hips. All right, if your knee rotates one way, so do your hips. All right, that's how we avoid injuries. All right, so that's the basics to throwing a kick. All right, you're going to be rotating, protecting yourself, and you're there. Now that's a comfortable height for me. That's a height that I could probably hit every single time with full force and it's going to be all right. I might slip every now and then. I might fall when I make impact. It just depends, right? If I'm really going full force, but that's the type of height where I have a good control of my kick usually. If I want to go higher, I have to get a little bit more uncomfortable. All right, so what does that mean? I will be bending closer to the ground as I'm throwing that kick. My upper body will be getting closer to the ground, and that allows for your hips right here. All right, if these are my hips where my hands are, all right, and I'm throwing this kick to do this, for this normal kick, my hips are now doing this. All right, they're teetering more to a lateral angle to be able to lift that leg up. So I'm here in my stance. I'm throwing a normal kick, boom. All right, normal kick. If I want to get higher on this kick, I then have to get closer to the ground, by that much, right? By just a couple inches, boom. It's hard to keep that balance. Here I am, keeping that balance as my leg rises. Do you see what's going on as my hips open up and my upper body gets closer to the ground, right? That's my leg going up naturally. Right, obviously I am going against gravity a little bit, but I'm not trying to overextend. I'm still in that comfort zone when I'm doing that. So that's the idea. Now, when you're teetering those hips, all right, you want to imagine like a line, an imaginary line going down your body, right? And this imaginary line is what keeps you balanced, all right? It's where everything is. If I'm taking a step this way, the line is now going this way. Do you see what I'm saying? It's now going this way because my center of gravity is pushing down directly right here, right? So this is where my balance is. Now, if I put my foot here, I can still go over here, right? Because that's where the imaginary line is. All right? Now, when you have that imaginary line and you start tilting your hips and you start tilting your body, it changes, right? And you're now at like a 90-degree. So this is where, you're going to need a little bit of core strength to kind of keep yourself up, to keep yourself balanced. And you still want to keep that tension where that imaginary line should be. So where my foot is when I'm throwing this kick and I'm going higher. All right, I'm keeping that tension, I'm keeping this squeezed to keep myself pulled, to keep myself as best as I can in that imaginary line to keep myself balanced. So throwing a kick here, no big deal, right? I'm at this level, but when I go this way, I now have to squeeze, stay tighter to bring that tension, that energy back to that imaginary line, right? And that's how you don't lose your balance when you're going for a higher and higher kick, all right? I'm keeping this flexed, all right? I'm keeping myself focused. I'm keeping my foot planted. I'm still trying to rotate on my toes, all right? To get that angle that I need, to get that power, to get that height that I want. Rotating on my toes, rotating. Protecting myself and trying to keep sturdy. All right, as soon as my leg starts wobbling one way or the other, I'm no longer sturdy and that imaginary line starts wobbling too, right? So my balance starts to wobble. All right, if I wobble here and wobble there, all right, it's harder. There's weight going everywhere. But if you keep yourself strong and sturdy, it's easier to keep balance and to stay more uniform, all right? To look like you have more technique. Now the question that I have to ask, if this is my comfort zone, I'll do it with this leg so you can see the height. That's my comfort zone. I'm not saying it is, but that's where I can throw a good sturdy kick and not feel like I'm losing balance, where I don't have to flex and compromise in other areas. So, all right, if I want to get higher on this kick, it feels like I may lose power, right? Especially if I'm doing that, if I'm wobbly. If I'm not sturdy, I can stay stronger. But if you're having to compromise now your body more, do you think that you're losing power by going for a higher kick as opposed to a kick where you don't have to make those micro adjustments in your body as much? All right, and I'll kick a lot harder, so maybe you can tell the difference. All right, kick at a comfortable height. All right, my foot honestly went forward. I'll go again. It's hard to tell, and there's more weight at the bottom of this bag than there is at the top. But that's my question to you all, is if you're losing more power when you're going for a higher height, can you make that kick as powerful as it should be if you were comfortable at that height by throwing a quicker kick? Does that make sense? All right, so if I'm having to compromise and I'm uncomfortable to try to go up here, if I make the impact a lot faster, all right, that wasn't all the way up there, but you get the idea. Will that speed then equal out to whatever this power is when I'm at a comfortable height? Can you equal out your power by making these micro adjustments by using speed? All right, the answer seems like yes, but is it actually possible? You know, that's what I'm actually asking here. Do you feel like it is? Do you feel like you can still throw a powerful kick when you're going at a higher level, when you're compromising your body? I've done that short where I hit a wooden board and I hit it as if I'm trying to go through it, right? And the wall stops it. And then I whip it back super fast and the board bounces back at me. All right, that's that inertia, that energy ricocheting that board back to me. Is the power level similar when you throw a fast kick and a powerful kick, or is throwing a faster kick totally different from throwing a powerful kick on how that energy is transferred to the body or to your opponent, or what happens for the outcome, right? Is it two separate things, or can you make up for it by using speed? Let me know in the comments. All right, that's how you're going to kick higher. You're going to want to still rotate, all right? Tilt towards the ground a little bit. Keep flexed, keep balanced, keep yourself sturdy. Come back to your stance, protecting yourself at all times. Let's go.